Sorry, Platinum. See you in a week. This is our ride for the week. What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a good day. So this just arrived, a 2020 1794 TRD in this awesome Voodoo blue, which is a very unique color. You could kind of see it out there in this shot, I believe, on the hood. We'll do a full walk around tomorrow. The truck just got here. The way I like to do it, if you're new to the channel, is I like to take it on its first impressions drive and talk about the truck a little bit. I can't wait to feel what it's like to drive a 5.7 without a supercharger, because it's been a while for that. This has a stock exhaust. I want to hear what it sounds like. Look at that thing. We'll talk about this more in depth tomorrow when we actually do the walk around, but a bigger screen, push button start, don't need the keys, got the push button. So we're about to kick this thing off, take it for a little ride, and we will talk about this truck that I absolutely love. I love the 1794 trim. A lot of you know that. Some people do not like this color. Can you see that in the shot? I think you can. Some people do not like the tan. I love the tan. But let's take this thing out. Push button start in a Tundra is weird to me. Good sound, good everything. Little seatbelt, and then we will get going. Look at this. That's nice. All right, here we go. I will tell you one thing immediately, and I don't know if you guys agree with me. Let me know in the comments below. Every Tundra that I drive feels different from the other one. It doesn't matter if it's the same trim, the same cab, they all feel different. But it's just the way it is for me. I don't know. This color is insane. I don't know if you guys ever saw Voodoo blue in person, but it is something else. Pictures do not do it justice. But man, already, just in the first 15 seconds of driving this vehicle, as I said, the vehicle just got here, and we're making this video right now. I didn't take this out yet, so this is pretty awesome. Ooh, the brakes are a lot better than the Platinums, that's for sure. They are brand new, of course. But I don't know, just the 5.7. I don't understand why some people say that the 5.7 is a slower engine, like not responsive. I feel like the 5.7 has a ton of power. It's nice and smooth. I don't even have a problem with the 6-speed transmission. I know everybody wants an 8-speed for the MPG factor, which is, you know, the big thing everybody talks about with this truck, what holds it back. But overall, I'm happy with the 6-speed and the 5.7 the way it is. I don't want a new V8. I'm not really crazy about twin turbo V6 or anything like that. I'm just happy with this. And it is very nice. It is a pleasure to drive a Tundra without a supercharger every once in a while. I know that sounds crazy to people that want a supercharger. Don't get me wrong, the supercharger is awesome, but this truck is just fine without a supercharger. If you can't spend the $9 grand, it's still a great engine. I don't care what anyone says. I never understood that thing people used to say, oh, the 5.7 is sluggish. There's no power there. I totally disagree with you. I've driven a bunch of different trucks from different manufacturers. This engine is just fine. Brakes are good as far as differences for 2020. Again, we'll go over all that tomorrow, but I do love this screen. They finally upgraded the Entune to what's in like the Camry. I guess this is the 3.0. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. It has Apple CarPlay and everything like that. But just the 1-inch difference in size from the older ones, and the layout even looks a little bit different. I love it. But I'm sorry, for us old guys, there is no more CD player. So that is now gone in the Tundra. But feels good, man. Feels good. And the stock exhaust, I don't know if you could hear it. If you don't have the money to spend on an exhaust, if you don't have $1,000 to buy a TRD exhaust or a BA muffler system at $600-700, this exhaust sounds good. And I used to say that with my father's. My father has a 2018 Limited with a stock exhaust just like this, and it really does sound good. I'll do a cold start and some revs at some point during my time with this truck. I have this truck for a week, so I have a bunch of videos lined up, and I'm going to ask you a question right now, and I want you to pause the video and go below, and later in the week I will let you know the answer to this. How much do you think this truck is as it sits? Now, once again, it is a 2020 1794 with the TRD off-road package, and it doesn't have like extras on it. There's no exhaust, there's no TRD intake, none of that stuff. How much do you think this thing costs? I didn't look at the sticker yet. I'm gonna make a guess right now. I'm guessing this vehicle is probably $55,000 to $57,000. All right, let's see. We get her out on the road a little bit here. It's raining, so I got to be careful with it. Put the pedal down. Not slow at all, and sounds awesome. I never get tired of driving these Tundras, and once again, if you can't afford the supercharger, you're still getting a great engine. Maybe not the most fuel-efficient engine ever, which we talk about all the time, but she sure is reliable. This truck feels great. TRD off-road suspension. People ask me about it all the time. Pros and cons of it. So this is just your regular Bilstein TRD off-road. Sorry, not TRD Pro. TRD off-road suspension. At slower speeds, I would say from 5 miles an hour to maybe 30 if you're, you know, local travel. Not like this. We're doing 50 right now. And it feels great out here. It's very smooth. At slower speed, it does get a little choppy, a little bouncy. Nothing crazy. It's not uncomfortable in any way. I mean, these trucks, it's the same suspension tuning that it's been for a long time, but I'll be honest with you, maybe because it's brand new, but this thing feels great as far as the suspension goes. Very comfortable ride. The truck, and this is one thing about Tundras that a lot of people don't talk about enough. The truck feels solid. It feels like a solid truck. It doesn't feel like, you know, I'm all over the road or it's shaky or things are gonna break. Everything feels like it's durable. There's never any shaking or rattling or anything crazy going on in these trucks, whether it be mine that I've had now for 3 years or, you know, this brand new one that has 1,900 miles on it. It's just a pleasure to drive. At the end of the day, this thing is a good time to drive. I don't know if you agree with me on that one. I always love to hear what you guys think. Once again, 1794 with the tan interior. I know you're not really getting much of a shot right now of it, but this thing is just sick. And I can't get enough of the tan. The tan and the blue, and people always say that it's not really a tan, it's more like an orange. And that may be. And if that's the case, I am a Mets fan, so this kind of works out for me, but I think it looks good. If I was to buy a 1794, it would not be in the Voodoo blue, although it is going to grow on me. It would be in probably the mag gray. That's the color I enjoy. But yeah, so there you go. One more thing, just as it's happening, no brake dive. There's no brake dive going on. This does not have a TRD rear sway bar on it, but it feels like it does. It just feels really solid. It doesn't feel, when I first got into my 2017 Platinum, after having all of those double cabs, the first feeling I got with it was that it felt like it was swimmy, if that makes sense. It felt like it kind of rolled on its suspension as you went down the road. The cab made it feel top heavy, but this is also a Crew Max, obviously, and it does not feel that way to me whatsoever anymore. Maybe I'm just used to it, but she feels really good, man. I'm a fan. And once again, the exhaust, listen. Yep, it's a solid truck, guys. It's a solid truck. There's not much more to say than that. This thing pulls the mail, I guess. I've driven, actually the other day I drove a Ram 1500, and that 5.7, the Hemi, that actually is a great engine too, very responsive, but I'm gonna pick this over the 5.7 Hemi for just overall feel and, you know, responsiveness. That's the word I want you to take away from this experience with the 5.7 iForce today. It's a responsive engine. You put your foot on the pedal, you're going down the road. Through the gears, it doesn't feel like one of the gears is tuned wrong or it's set up wrong or anything. It has a perfect amount of feel that it needs to have. It gets through the gears nice and smooth. Big mirrors on the side. I always have said that about Tundras. Their mirrors are the best. I've never really liked the Ram mirrors. I really don't like the Ford mirrors, the F-150 mirrors. These are the perfect size without being too big, and they're definitely not too small. Big high five to Toyota on that. Overall, I'm a happy camper right now. The thing about me versus journalists and other I don't know, I wouldn't call myself a journalist. I'm absolutely in love with the Tundra. So anytime I get to drive one, I'm floored by it because I just love these trucks so much. It's just fun to be able to drive. But overall, I want your questions, comments, and concerns. But as far as this ride goes, for my first time out in this 1794 TRD, which is exactly what I would get. The last time I reviewed one, if you want to see another review on a 1794 back in 2018, I have a playlist. They gave me a press vehicle 1794, but it didn't have the TRD. It had the big 20-inch chrome wheels. It was crazy looking. Go check that out too. Like I said, it's in my playlist. But For this week, we're rocking in a Voodoo Blue 1794 TRD, and I love it. And it makes me want this interior so bad. So bad. So here's some questions to take home from this video, because I had a lot of coffee, and I won't stop talking if I don't stop myself now. What do you think of the 1794? Are you a fan of the tan interior? If you were to buy a Tundra today, what would be the trim you would go after? And how pumped are you that Toyota offers these premium colors on their higher package trucks? And I know that kind of sounds weird, but a lot of these colors, it's not just like Voodoo Blue is available across the board when it comes to all the trims for the Tundra. It's actually only available on certain trims, but I feel like they're getting better with it, because the 1794 was never getting like an Inferno red. When you see Voodoo Blue, don't forget it was a 2019 TRD Pro color last year. So for 2020, it's now a regular color. That's how they do it. In the year before, if it's a TRD Pro color, for instance, 2015 TRD Pro across the board was Inferno. That was the special color that year. In 2016, we started to see Inferno on all of the trucks. So that's the way Toyota does it, and I high-five them for that one. Just one more pedal stomp here. And I'm talking, this is like 50% pedal. You can't complain about that. People, even if you're not a fan of the Tundra, but somehow you ended up on this video, and you're in the market for a half-ton truck, go test drive one. It won't hurt. But yeah, so I'd love to hear what you guys think. And yes, the colors that are TRD Pro one year, the next year become the colors on all the trims, but sometimes doesn't end up on all the trims, but now we're seeing it. So let me know what you think about the 1794 TRD. By the way, it is 4x4. Everything up here is 4x4. The takeaway, very responsive engine. The exhaust sounds good. You don't necessarily need to spend a ton of money unless you want something really loud. So exhaust sounds good. Engine is very responsive, and I'm enjoying it. So let me know. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook at TundraDude34, TundraDude34@gmail.com. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. I love this truck.